Hello everybody, Isabella from Prior Attire, and today we are looking at rather interesting fashions from late Elizabethan era. We are talking 1590s, and if you guys thought that the Victorian bustles or crinolines were quite outrageous, you just wait. This is on a different level. For once, this is not an attire made for a book. I've used the patterns from the Tudor Tailor book and their own patterns as well to create it, so if you want something similar, you know where to go. But it's just a very interesting fashion that I wanted to make for a long time, and I didn't really have a lot of time or any materials, so I've been sort of hoarding up stuff for quite some time, and finally I managed to do it. So without further ado, let's look at the 1590s outfit. Layers similar as for the end of 16th century, beginning of 17th century. I've got nice linen knitted stockings, and at that time, if I'm not mistaken, the knitting machine actually comes in. Queen Elizabeth obviously had a knitted pair as well, made on a machine. So you have nice linen stockings with random garters, linen shift, and you have different variations. And the bodies or stays, and these ones are the effigies bodies you've seen on my video on Anne of Denmark. So these ones you've already seen me lace, so there's not much point of doing it again really. And these are the smooth covered variety. They are not laced to the very end in here, but that's for a specific purpose. Let me put my shoes on. Really unlace these, and these ones are American Duchess shoes, very comfy. Now we are looking for some foundations for our styles today, and again huge bum roll, so that one goes first and ideally ties underneath and it stays there. I think it's as tight as I can get it. I can do it a little bit tighter, but not too much yet. Actually, it closes anyway. Because the next layer is a farthingale, but not the Spanish farthingale in a bell shape that we are so familiar with usually, and what people think of 16th century farthingale. We had another shape as well. Drum roll or a French farthingale. There you go. Absolutely ridiculous piece of clothing. That is 2 layers of fabric bound with some velvet, and there are 1, 2, 3 canes inside. So that creates a quite peculiar shape. I'm going to put it back to front first because I need to tie up stuff. So this is quite a surprising look, but it was popular. I've got loads of laces here. I don't have the last lace for some reason. Now what really struck me when I made these is that with these on, the stays shape usually makes sense. I mean, just look how this sits exactly when you have the little opening here. So now I can lace this one slightly tighter. Seem to be a little bit too big, but that's the bit you see here. How bizarre is that? Tutu. Right. So that's how we foundations. So yeah, put your, not even difficult to put anything underneath that because you can just about reach, and yes, it's sort of flexible, but not very. And the next one is a petticoat. It's just a plain silk petticoat. It's long enough to go over the drum roll thingy. And it's not shaped exactly, but it will do, I hope, if I can button it up. Button completed. So you've got a petticoat, nicely cartridge pleated to the waistband, and sitting on your bizarre support. Now you have skirts put over that, and you can have under petticoat as well. That would be just that shape, that's it. But you can have shaped with a additional flounce or frill. That looks like that at the moment, so you can't really see much. It's just a tucked frill, but this arranged on a little drum roll looks like a little pie crust, or just decorative flounces. So let us have a look if I can do it on my own. Obviously a woman of that status, and that would be the highest status on a bit of silk, would have quite a few servants around to help her with it. I might need to have some help here from a handsome gentleman who's, funny enough, already sports suitable attire. Hooks and eyes, please. Lucas, hooks and eyes, please. First. So you can see that little flounce just sits on top, and it can be arranged in little rough figure of 8 shapes, which I quite like. It can be left haphazardly bent, or just in a chaos setting, I suppose. Possibly for lazy people, so maybe I should go for it. I'm quite lazy. When I'm not stitching, at least. So you can have little bits of arrangement, or you can vary it even more and create little figure of 8 and then fold it and tack it in place. Really interesting look. A lot of texture going on here. At the moment I'm just having it like that, because I cannot really see the back. But even that, it's quite interesting. Now the skirts can be open in front, revealing the petticoat, or they can be closed. You can see the skirts often being shorter than the petticoat, in which case the petticoat is a contrasting colour. You can also arrange front to pretend to be an open skirt with a matching petticoat. And you can see a few of these as well, and I quite like that look. Cannot really see much there, I don't have a mirror. But that's one of the looks. Well, let's go for volume. So that is quite a weird look. Quite fun, it's just perfect for resting your elbows actually, and that's what you see a lot in the portraits, because it's a natural position so that you don't have to actually bear the weight of your own arms. I'll rest my case. Now, bodices. Again, a huge variety of bodices. Doublet bodices closed up all the way up here. Open bodices with revers and with stomacher. And the most interesting bits of that is not the bodice per se, it's the sleeves. In the 90s, the sleeves are still pretty huge, so 80s, 90s, very big sleeves. And these sleeves need some support. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a farthingale sleeve. That's a sleeve support. And again, this is in the Tudor tailor's newest book, The Typical Tudor, when they recreated it based on an extant item. So I think mine has one more hoop than the original. The original has 14 hoops, mine has 15 mostly, because again I was lazy, so I was doing the channels here according to the stripes as guides. So it worked out like that. It has quite a long cuff for some mysterious reason, which I'll be folding, I think. But basically it would be tacked inside the sleeve, and that's the shape. It's fully mobile, so it doesn't really impede your movement, and you can sometimes have additional sleeve support paired with it, or your sleeve could have boning in it as well, like I'm demonstrating in the 1580s riding dress. So I've got one already tucked into the bodice, and I need to have a short break to tuck this one back in. You can already have set here, so I'm going to do just that. Give me a sec. Okay. Right, I've tucked them all in, so they're inside. They will be tucked in and removed as necessary, or swapped between different gowns. You didn't have to have several different farthingale sleeves, two are really enough. You just wear it with different bits. So now we have a huge sleeve here, as well as an open over sleeve with a contrasting lining. And these were just pure status symbol, really, nothing else. Oh, it should be okay to get through that all. Oh my god. My hand is through. And my hand is through, okay. I'm in, this is not too bad. Gosh. And these, they can be left just straight, they can be dagged, they can be scalloped, they can have decoration on top of it with jewellery, so it's really quite a lot of options. Again, just showing status. Now inside, something you've seen before, a lacing strip, a very simple one, and the bodice can, I'm showing too much of a chemise, and the bodice can close with buttons or with hooks and eyes, which this one will close at some point. This one will be a hook and eye bodice, I think, but not at the moment. I will just pin it up today because of a variety of factors. I've run out of hooks and eyes. That's the most important one. Second one is hooks and eyes really require quite a specific and tight fit, and we've just had Christmas, so I'm going to wait till my Christmas belly goes down to normal sizes, I suppose. So it will be pinning. I speak quite a lot about the lacing strip in the 80s video, but it's just a very convenient way of closing the bodice, regulating it, and taking strain from whatever fastening you would be using. And as I said, you can have an open bodice with contrasting revers all the way around, and a nice stomacher placed on top of the lacing as well, in which case usually the stomacher will be the same colour as the sleeves, which will be different from the rest of it. Right, let me just lace it up a little bit more. Again, the bodice has a lot of work going on inside. It has boning inside and it has some canvas inside, so it is quite sturdy. Still very light, but sturdy and durable, because even as a nobility, you really would not be squandering the resources. You would be really taking care of what you had. And you may just have, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 gowns if you're a gentlewoman. sometimes you would be relying on your sponsor or your monarch to provide some of the cloth or offcuts. I wouldn't be surprised if the sleeves like these, because they're at the moment cartridge pleated, and cartridge pleating is really easy to remove because the bodice is finished as it is without the sleeves. Sleeves are then stitched on, so it might be quite easy to actually remove these and use a different kind of sleeve. Right, let's tie this up and see how it works. So basically this one is all in. I just need to pin a little bit more. My little skirts. Right, let's pin. Another advantage of pinning, you don't actually need a lot of pins. It just really stays as it is, so just make sure you have some flat pins. Next one. I usually tend to pin over the bones, so that I don't pin myself. Excuse me.
That's you.
Let's have the last bit. That's the easy bit. And now with this one, something I don't have yet, as it's a pretty new look for me, is a nice jewelled belt that will look really nice and emphasise whatever waist you can see here. But what I do have is a gigantic ruff. But before, some bling. I don't have a lot of bling again. I'm not really a bling kind of person. I don't tend to wear a lot of jewellery. And for that era, you would have a lot of jewellery, either all kind of gems and pearls on your costume or clothes. God, it's a lot of it. Or on your fingers, which I'm going to put some. And you see a lot of pearl being used, especially in many rows of pearls, very long, hanging off your little farthingale here. So that's something I might have to save up a little bit more for yet. So that's just one puny layer of pearls. Right. And ruffs at that time, can have, oh, I've got another layer of pearl. Win. Not too much, isn't it? Now, ruff is, you have ruffs at that time that are open, nicely framing your face, very much a Medici sort of colour, as allegedly introduced by Catherine of Medici. And obviously, to have a nice shape, they need a sapotars. You've already seen this rebatta of sapotars before. I've used it in a different shape for a later impression, but I simply fold it over. It used to close here. I just fold it over the wires so that I don't have to make another one, because I didn't really fancy another one. Not when you have little time. And then the ruff is made, this one actually took about 6 meters of just plain strip of linen with nice lace, also from Tudor Tailor. And because it's very windy today, and normally it would just be pinned to the rebatta, I just stitched it up with a couple of places because I don't really want it to flap around. The ruffs, again, were pleated to a neckband, just a long strip of linen, sometimes embroidered, sometimes with lace, sometimes just plain, and then arranged in a figure of 8, as you can see here, and pinned. Every fold here is pinned together. You can see some, I think, that were held with a bit of wax in between them. So that was another option for you. And then you would sort of shape them after starching and bake them stiff, and then do it again and again and again every single time they were washed. Oh, one pin got unpinned, so you can see this one here, not sure if it's visible, got unpinned. I need to grab it. Right, this would also attach. There you go. This will attach to my little collar here with, not sure if you see, possibly not, there you go, with points. And I might have to ask my husband to have a look at that and attach it. Hello. Just against one of the wires. It is quite a peculiar look. That's your open ruff, which I'm going to pin in front as well. I've got a couple of very long brass pins, so I can pin my rebatto hopefully somewhere through. Through the wire. Got it. Maybe not. Through the wire and through the dress. Yay, one side's done. Another one, it's going to be more difficult. Through the wire, avoid the pearls, and through the dress. Right, that's a lot. My hair at the moment is really rather modest, to be honest. It's a bit tough side. Mostly because it's quite short, so I couldn't really pile it up much higher, but you could have a lot of high level hair with decoration pinned into it, with little caps, with feathers, with things like this. I'm going to put this one here maybe. Oh yes, maybe yes. So that will be another canvas for decoration, or you have a little pediment, or more pearls I suppose. Never enough pearls. Let me just put some bling. Yeah. This one is not in the right place. Another pin needed. Difficult to do it without the mirror. I have to redo it in a second, but I think that's about it. There we go, strange flappy sleeves. And a really, really big hips. Nothing like 18th century, but really comfortable look. I just need a little fan and a nice girdle, and I think I'm ready for court. Dancing, yes. Riding, maybe not so much. Oh well. Let's have my clever husband here, come on. Looking posh as well. He's got a separate video on his bits. But that's the Elizabethan couple ready for court. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, buy me a coffee. If you didn't, don't buy me a coffee, I suppose. Yeah, so that's it for today. I'm going to see if I can make it through the stairs. Thank you. So, how to sit in all that get up? Fortunately, it's easy. Lying down, problematic. Very problematic. Hold on, I might be able to lie down if I just put it like that. Yeah. Oh, but sitting, actually quite great because there's nothing, not like with bustles when you have stuff underneath you. Yeah, it's just all nicely spread out, so that's great.